So with that background, you went on to study at the University of Auckland and you studied law.
Yeah.
So what was behind your decision to get into policy rather than practice law?
I came out of university like any other students, a little bit nervous. And so I had a little bit of money that I had received with a scholarship, and I wanted to do something meaningful with that money. So I booked a ticket to Fiji, and I ended up working for an NGO called Save the Children there. I was the legal officer, but a lot of the time I was having to review a lot of their laws and policies. When I went into the communities, you could see the impacts that these laws and also the policy decisions were impacting on the children, especially not affording maximum protection for them. And so it just heightened a love for me around the power of policy to influence how laws are constructed to protect children. And so I knew that moment I was like, okay, we need more in policy. And so I came back to New Zealand, and you know, the law is always going to be there, and if I want to practice, I can. That's the beauty of education and being able to do law. But I just knew that in my heart there's ways that you can influence and change what we're all trying to change, have access to better policies that help us with our lives. And so that's why I sort of landed in there. It was a love from how I saw it impact children in Fiji. So that's probably why I decided to do policy.
That sounds like a really powerful experience.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and I think the great thing about law is that it's a very versatile degree.
100%.
And in my own experience, I did a law degree as well, and then went into policy. You learn a lot of skills which you can apply to a lot of different fields. Yeah. So, given that you come from a very close-knit family, and then you moved to Wellington, how did you find the move, and was that a difficult decision for you to make?
It was an easy decision, get out of Auckland. No, my parents encouraged me to go, definitely. It was, you miss them, but they're literally an hour flight away. The beauty of having technology right now, you can FaceTime as much as you possibly can, social media, so there's always that connection. Never going to beat the face-to-face and being with them and being in the presence of them, but I'm real lucky to have a supportive family to let me go. It was a relatively easy decision to come to Wellington.
And have you enjoyed living in Wellington?
Yep. I'm still a blues fan at heart, but Wellington's been real. I like the culture here. I like how you can be in the hustle and bustle of the city, but then go out and it's quite quiet. So yeah, you sort of get the best of both worlds being in Wellington. Thoroughly enjoyed it so far.
Yeah, I quite like that Wellington is compact. Yeah, and as you say, you get the best of both worlds. So tell us about working for the Ministry of Pacific Peoples and then being seconded to the Beehive. Like, how was that experience, especially during lockdown?
It's been a learning experience. I think I'm always open to learn a lot of things. So I've gone from sort of one stressful environment to another stressful environment. So it's trying to navigate the spaces individually. Working in the Beehive during lockdown was probably a huge challenge for a lot of people. We're always used to being in the office, but having to shift and pivot the way we work to online has been quite a challenge. But what I found is that if we're collectively working together, it's quite manageable, and it's also enabled a whole set of skills for a lot of different people. The pressure, and I guess, to make sure that while we're online, that a lot of the information gets down to our communities has been quite challenging. But it's been, like I said, a learning experience for a lot of people, especially myself, in how we translate information for our communities.
And there has been a lot of translation. I mean, usually when in policy, when we talk about translating the information for the public, we're talking about making it into plain English. But for MPP, a lot of it's been about translating into our different Pasifika languages. It's been a learning experience, I guess, for the public sector across, I would say, is that we can't just be putting out messages for one sort of audience. We've got a diverse community, and even in Pasifika itself, 9 different languages that we're trying to accommodate for. So having to do that has been quite challenging, but it's been enlightening for a lot of, I guess, the public sector, but for the community as well. And they find confidence and
and I get confidence in the messages that are being relayed, especially if it's in their language.
Mm.